Good evening, everybody. Before we get started for the night, I want to give a shout out, as I always like to do, to the music we were listening to here during pre-stream. This is Focus by Declan DP. Declan makes their music available for use on YouTube with attribution. The pattern is in the lower left corner of the screen, as well as the YouTube link where you can view the video that goes with this as well. It is available for streamers as well, but you have to pay a license for it. It is a modest fee of, I think, about £10, which these days is not very expensive. But yeah, thank you to Declan and everybody who like them who makes either free to use or low cost assets for streamers for their streams, because I don't think I could have made it anything nearly as good as this. But thank you again, Declan, and everybody like you. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in your part of the world, everybody. I am Deuscain. I am a variety type streamer, which we are really going to be hitting that tonight. I play a lot of older generation retro games, PlayStation 1 games, stuff like that. But tonight, I had wanted to do one last thing as a bit of a tip of my hat to Spooky Time Halloweens, and we're going to be fiddling around with tarot cards tonight. So I have a very, very scuffed and hastily put together setup that I then changed my mind on and then changed it back on what to do. So I do have a setup for cards. It's going to be a little scuffed, but you know what? Goals for stuff to do going forward. Anyway, so let me get switched over to that view. And we are going to get started. I also am going to keep the background music going this whole time, because I think that'll be a really good thing to do. So, there. Does my audio come through? Yes, good. All right, so this is our lovely tarot mat, and these are my real life hands, as well as a little bit of my apartment. So, tonight we're going to be working with this lovely deck of tarot cards. I do have another one we might use, but this is the Rider Waite deck, shown here through the Death card. It has a very particular style and pattern to it. It's the one that I basically learned tarot on years and years ago, and I'm most familiar with it. I also have another deck that we might use later as well. Let me go get that one quick. That is this one, the Ephemeral Visions Illuminated Tarot deck. So this has the exact same cards as the Rider Waite deck with a couple of extras for the Major Arcana. So it's a little bit more, but maybe we'll fiddle with those later. I also have a very cute trading deck. This Tarot the Complete deck, which I can get one of these out here. Actually, those are packed up pretty good. But they are cute little mini tarot cards that are fun to use sometimes, but they're a bit of a pain in the butt. So we're mostly going to be sticking with Rider Waite. So I have the camera up on the screen, but I also, let me turn off the camera for a sec and switch over to Chrome. There we are. I also have this website up here, which has a couple of different types of tarot spreads, as well as, I should zoom in on that so you guys can see it a little bit better. Yeah, it's a little bit better for you. But this is a couple of different tarot spreads with like what you use them for. So it's a reference sheet for me because I haven't really done this in a while. And then additionally, one thing I like to do is when I check cards, I like to check them in multiple different like apps or databases, because everybody's reference on the cards is very slightly different, and it can have an effect on the reading. So let's get started. Also, because it is the Rider Waite deck, there is going to be some saucy images here from time to time. I hope you're okay with that. I promise I'm not going to ask anything too sneaky or too weird, but let's see. So what's a good starting hand? So right now I am currently shuffling the deck. Let me bring that up here. I hope you all had a good Monday. It's been a bit of a stressful day for me. Getting the stream set up has been a little bit stressful. Work's been a little bit stressful, though work is oftentimes stressful. So, as for tarot and any kind of actual mysticism these cards have, because I know a streamer I follow, Vividly Vivi, likes to do tarot sometimes, and she's not really a believer, and I have to kind of say, I don't necessarily think I am either. I don't think they're magic in the way that people think. They're not some deep secrets of the universe, they're just cards. But what I find interesting about this is the kind of subtle question of like, why, like if I spread all the cards out in front of me, if I just did a big old spread like that, and I pick 3 cards, why did I pick those 3 cards? Why? Let's do a 3-card spread. This card, this card, and this card. So let's just do past, present, future. Past, present, future. Now, I typically don't do my decks with inverted cards, so they have a very specific, just whatever it is on the card. But we're going to do a reading here. So, for the past, we have the Page of Cups. For the present, we have the 5 of Pentacles, or coins if you prefer, but Pentacles is often what I hear described as. And for the future, we have the World, Major Arcana card. So what does this mean? Especially since I didn't have a very specific reasoning behind it. So, I'm going to be using 3 references here. I'm going to be using the website that I showed you earlier. I'm going to be using the actual little mini booklet that comes with the cards. And then I have a tarot deck app. Actually, I have 2 of them on my phone. That correspond to the cards and give an explanation for them as well. So, I will be bringing each of them up in turn, and we're going to be looking at that, trying to figure out what does this mean? Especially since I didn't ask a very specific question. I asked, why am I picking the cards that I'm picking? I think that's a valid question. Let me bring up the cards. So we had Page of Cups, the 5 of Pentacles, and the World. So I got the computer set up here. So, cups. I'm going to start with the booklet. The Page of Cups. A fair, pleasing, somewhat effeminate page of studious and intent aspect contemplates a fish rising from a cup to look at him. Divinatory meanings. A fair young man, one impelled to render service and with whom the querent will be connected, a studious youth, news, message, application, reflection, meditation. Also these things directed to business. So a studious youth, reflection, meditation. So going to Google, turn this off for just a sec. Have the World up here. You have the page. Upright is a symbol of creativity and imagination. There's a message that some news might be coming your way. There might be a birth of new ideas or business. It might even symbolize the birth of a child. It's a time for you to express your feelings and do not be afraid of showing intimacy or love. Slow down and listen to your inner voice. This card symbolizes a person who is non-intimidating, gentle, loving, sensitive, and highly intuitive, even having psychic abilities. This individual has control of their energies. Accept help from a younger individual if offered. This will be one of the best gifts you can give yourself. This is not a time to sit back, and you must take action on the message. The page possesses a childlike wonder, but his sensitive side can lead to becoming anxious and fearful. The last little bit seems interesting. And then the third thing we're going to reference, and this up, is the app I have, which I think this is Galaxy Tarot if you're interested. So, Page of Cups, sensitive, kind, imaginative, romantic, gentle, new love or love letters. This card could represent a person you know or will encounter some aspect of yourself that is present or to call upon now. It is a useful, sensitive, imaginative person. Their heart is open to love and messages from their higher self. They can be emotionally needy and feel unfulfilled when not romantically involved, but they are willing to share their deepest feelings and dearest dreams. The page has strong desire to express himself creatively and can feel stifled and unhappy when he doesn't have time for creative play. It can also represent messages from your dreams or love letters, which is the second one that's mentioned, love letters. So, what does that mean for the past? The question was, why did I choose these three cards? The Page of Cups is inquisitive. It is studious. It's trying to learn about the world. So, I get a bit of naivete, a bit of belief in magic from this. An intuitiveness, a listening to your inner voice, as the website says. This is a card that is about getting to know your inner self, a belief that life has meaning and sometimes you just need to listen to yourself. Now, what's interesting is the website, which I just closed, also says something about the sensitive side can lead to becoming anxious and fearful. And we have that other card here in the middle, the Five of Pentacles. So let's go to that next on the website and see what that has to say. So the Five of Pentacles indicates money troubles. There's been mismanagement or misappropriation of funds. You may owe considerably more than what you have in the bank. Be careful of your credit cards. The situation can lead to mental strife or ill physical health. There's a lack of self-confidence and self-esteem. Reflections on the past are causing you to feel empty, sad, and lonely. This is the time to look for spiritual answers. Keep the faith that your circumstances will change. Seek out financial opportunities. However, this is not the time for risk-taking or leaving your current place of employment. Old ideas of being able to buy love or people no longer apply. Now, let's break out the book next. This is the Pentacles. Pentacles. Two mendicants in a snowstorm pass a lighted casement. Divinatory meanings. It foretells material trouble above all, whether in the form illustrated, that is, destitute or otherwise. In some cartomancists, it is a card of love and lovers, husband and wife, friend, mistress, also concordance affinities. These alternatives cannot be harmonized. Well, that was somewhat unhelpful. Let's check the Galaxy app next. And that book is not helping me with this at all. Alright. I also did a lot of studying through this. So, Galaxy app. Lack of security, instability, scarcity thinking, alienation, illness, or supportive friends. So, the Five of Pentacles. It appears because your sense of security is threatened. Maybe that you actually lack the money or resources needed, or that you are anxious that you will not be able to meet your needs. You may be feeling ashamed or fearful of relying on the support of others. Ill health may be preventing you from securing material resources. It may also be that you have chosen to forego some material comfort voluntarily as a spiritual practice or in support of others. The lesson to be learned in this card is that you are not alone. Times of need are when we reach out to others or pursue spiritual activities. These social and spiritual connections are indispensable in allowing us to persevere through hard times. When this card appears, pay attention to the wealth that you may have and that is readily available to you for the asking. So, whereas, where's my cursor? Where's my cursor? There it is. So while the Page of Cups is a card of listening to your inner voice, but gives a warning that you may become anxious and fearful. Five of Pentacles is very much an anxious and fearful card. It is a card of scarcity, instability, alienation, a bit of the support of friends, but it's definitely a down on your luck card. That's where that one's looking. So now we'll go to the last card on the spread here. The World. So for the World, Major Arcana number 21. I think it's the last Major Arcana in the original set, actually. You should go up here. Yeah, in the original tarot set, the World is the end of the Major Arcana. So, like the Sun, the World card brings good blessings to your set of personal cards. The World can appear when all is in balance. The trials and tribulations that you come across in life are completing their cycle. These struggles and challenges have only made you more self-empowered and enlightened, which will serve you well going forward. It allows you to act effectively not only as an individual, but also as a member of the group. The World card promises contentment, fulfillment, and completeness to those under its influence. This is a time when you have finally accomplished what you set out to achieve. This can be marriage, an invitation to become a partner or a business, or the birth of a child. Your hard work will be recognized by others, and it is time for you to recognize it yourself. For so long, you didn't realize your own potential. You feel now that your life has a purpose. It does not guarantee that there will not be some moments of strife or discord, but it does indicate that your trials and tribulations will always be overcome. Ultimately, you will know inner peace and contentment. You have found or will find your place in the universe. That place is where all is as it should be. So let's go to the book next. The World. Assured success, route, voyage, emigration, flight, change of place. I might choose a different reference instead of that, because that one's not great. But the World. What does the app say? Which, just for a moment, like, this app is so pretty. Like, this is the World card here. Nice, kind of a little bit faded, but like it comes in faded. And you have this app here, which it's just bright and vivid, and it's so good. I love it. This is a really good app, and I think it's free to use, though you can pay for it for some additional features, which it's pretty nice. The World. Integration, completion, options, wholeness, the earth, connection. The World card represents both endings and new beginnings. You have learned the lessons from your current phase of life. It's time to move on. This card can mean a victory or a graduation. It's telling you you have enough and that you are enough. It's time to move beyond thoughts, your personal quest, to bigger thoughts of what you can offer the earth. So, what's interesting about these cards, and what's interesting about this stuff in general, is you can kind of find what meaning you want from it, as with many things. But my question was, why did I pull these three cards? So, I don't talk about it a lot on stream here, but a long time ago I used to be a much more artistic individual. I wrote heavily for many years, even self-published stuff, even actually got some stuff published by magazines and local publications. And I was very happy about that, but it wasn't very fulfilling. It wasn't financially successful. So I kind of took a break to sort of, as I described it, to refill my cup. To basically stop pouring myself out over and over again. But looking at the past, this Page of Cups does kind of represent who I was at a time in my life. And is describing some of what I feel I used to be. This gentleman scholar, this intelligent pursuer of art and beauty. And then we get to the present card and things aren't going so great. I'll just be blunt about that with my life, that I'm having some problems. And I'm working on trying to get better, but definitely feeling insecure. Definitely feeling a pinch on my wallet, that my finances aren't nearly as secure and safe as I want them to be, and boy oh boy, is that a source of stress. So this card here is definitely where I'm at these days. It's what I feel like. Now this card represents reintegration. It's a journey. It's fulfilling your purpose. It's graduating from whatever the present is. So here I am, having a stressful Monday at work, which I mentioned earlier. And I know why my Monday's stressful. I haven't really gone into detail with you folks, and it's not really something that I should do. It's not professional to do that necessarily, but here I am asking, why did I pull these 3 cards? This is the card of somebody who used to be a published poet, who wrote daily and often. This is a card of somebody who's lost that spark of inspiration, who feels insecure and doesn't have time or money for frivolous activities like that. And this is a card for somebody that, in the future, will reintegrate themselves with the world, with people, with life. They'll start a new journey that feels emotionally fulfilling. They'll feel like they're doing their place in the world and in life. This is me. This is all me. So, is tarot real? Probably not. It's just cards. But why did I pull these 3 cards? And that's about where my head is when it comes to tarot. Now, out of curiosity, what was the bottom card of the deck? Page of Pentacles. But yeah, an interesting way to look at it. So it's kind of where my mind goes. And also when I put the cards back in, I slide them in at random spots because putting them all at the bottom doesn't feel right either. And it's very much like I'm just going to put them in it wherever I want to put them in at. But yeah, that is our first spread for the night. So yeah, a little bit spooky when that happens sometimes. I have an old spread that I used to do, or that I did a long time ago, which actually, let's do that spread next. It's the Tetractus spread. It is a pyramid-shaped spread with 10 cards, each one representing different creative forces or energies in your life and what they do. And a long time ago, I did this spread when I was just learning it. And there's a card in this spread called the Sustainer, what helps you maintain a balanced and healthy life. I'm looking at it right now. And I remember getting close to where I thought that card was supposed to be in the spread, thinking, don't be the tower card. Don't be the tower card. Don't be the card that is a tower that is being hit by lightning and is on fire and people are jumping out of it to their deaths. Don't have that be the card that represents how I sustain myself. Please don't. Like, I know I'm a bit of a dumpster fire right now. I feel like a bit of a dumpster fire right now. Don't be that card. I don't need that sass in my life. I turn the card over. Not the tower card. So I go and I interpret it and okay, and I go to the next card and I lay one down. I look back like, what card is this one? And I look at it and go, oh wait, no, the last card wasn't the Sustainer. The last card was the Creator card. What drives me in new directions? This is the Sustainer card. And I turn it over and it was the goddamn Tower card, staring me right in the face, just like, ooh, that's spooky. That's spooky. But yeah, sometimes it gets a little bit funny and weird. But reading the Tetractus spread information here from the website, which is where I'm going to be pulling this from. Let me close the cards I had earlier. The Tetractus spread is based on Platonist thought and Pythagorean mathematics. The 10-card spread gives you a snapshot of your overall state and explores everything from the most basic physical elements to the spiritual self. The various cards in the spread represent the following about you. Fire, your creative force, will, and ambition. Air, your current strategies and thoughts concerning your goals. Water, the exploration of your emotional self. Earth, your method of coping with everyday life. The Creator card, what This explores what drives you in new directions. The Sustainer card, which helps you maintain a balanced and healthy life. The Destroyer card, that which must be jettisoned in order to move forward. The Light card, cosmic forces guiding you towards fulfillment. The Dark card, the cosmos' reaction to your state of being. The Premise, the foundation for the entire spread, the linchpin, the keystone that holds it all together. Let's go. Fire, air, water, earth. I'm going to move this over just a little bit to give myself a bit more room. And then here we have the Creator, the Sustainer, the Destroyer. We have light, we have dark. Now I'm going to put the Premise card over there because this table's a little bit small. So the Fire card. My creative force, my will, and my ambition. This is the Eight of Pentacles. Next is the Water card, the Air card, representing current strategies and thoughts concerning goals. The Eight of Swords. Next is the Water card, which is the exploration of my emotional self. The Page of Swords. Next is the Earth card, representing how I cope with everyday life. The Four of Swords. Things aren't looking great. The Creator card, representing what drives me in new directions. The Page of Wands. The Sustainer, which helps me maintain a balanced and healthy life. The Queen of Swords. The Destroyer card, what needs to be jettisoned in order to move forward. The Queen of Cups. The Light card, cosmic forces guiding me towards fulfillment. The Seven of Pentacles. The Dark card, the cosmos' reaction to my state of being. Judgment. That's ominous. And finally, the Premise, the foundation for the entire spread, which normally would be up here, but, well, I don't want it hanging off the edge. What did I tell you? Spooky. Very spooky. Actually, let me turn this a little bit, because I would like to have this in proper order. Nope, that's not right. Yeah, that was it. That was it. Yep. Those, because it was these two for the mat. And yeah, there we go. You're gonna be so mad at me if I do this wrong. All right. So this is a big spread. It's gonna tell us a lot. But already, let's dig into it. Pull some information out here. So I had the Tower and the Judgment. Then for Wands, we had just the Page, right? Yeah, it's just the Page. For Swords, we had the Queen of Swords, the Page of Swords, the Eight of Swords, and the Four of Swords. And for Cups, I don't think we had any. No, we had the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups. And then for Pentacles, we had Eight of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles, and I believe that's it. Tower was at the end. Judgment was right before it. That's Seven of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles was the first one, followed by Four of Swords goes here. Four of Swords goes there. Okay, I believe that's ready there. I'm going to skip the book this time because this is a bigger spread, and also I just don't like the book that much. So we're going to be going with the website and with the app on my phone. So this is the Tractus spread, which is going to explain me. So we're going to start with the, looks like the Eight of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles, a minor arcana, indicates the advancement of skills. New skills or career opportunities are indicated. Build upon skills you already possess, or possibly start something completely new. Perhaps you are creative and artistic and will develop those talents and generate income. What was once a hobby might become a career. You might learn from the ground up by taking entry-level position or apprenticeship, but your talents will be noticed in time and you will reap the benefits. However, as always, patience is a virtue. Make sure you apply hard work, perseverance, and attention to detail to all new projects. All this hard work will create positive things in your life. So this is the Fire card, representing creative force, will, and ambition. So in the app, it describes it as meaningful work, precision, commitment, stocking up, repetition. Portrays a young man working diligently and happily on a project. He has already completed a great deal of his task and is focused on maintaining the quality of his work. When this appears in a reading, this type of focused and satisfying work is indicated. It may be that you will soon be employed in steady and rewarding work, that you need to persevere in a matter that is near completion, and that you are learning a great deal through work that may seem repetitive. I clicked there. Regardless of the details, this is a card of nearing mastery and maintaining effort and focus until the end. So defining creative force, will, and ambition, it's basically hard work. You're hard at work. Now, for water, a card that explores the emotional self, we are looking at the Eight of Swords. So we're going to go back to that. Turn that off. According to the website, Eight of Swords represents feeling trapped, imprisoned. Your thoughts and fears have paralyzed and imprisoned you physically and mentally. You feel shackled and are unable to think clearly. Thinking of change is overwhelming. You think it is better to stay where you are than to take a risk. You're also having an overwhelming fear of getting hurt. According to the app, Eight of Swords is helpless thoughts, limiting beliefs, inner critic, excuses, victim mentality. It's a card of feeling trapped or limited. When it shows up, you are probably thinking that you have no viable options available. You may feel weakened by the circumstances of your life or by others' opinions of you. It is quite likely that the limitations you feel are self-imposed. You are imprisoned by your own thinking more than anything. How you use your mind is your choice. You can use your thoughts to keep you trapped, or you can use them to cut through limitations. Ask yourself what you get out of remaining stuck, and what you could gain if you were to move forward. Often, all that is needed to get unstuck is the courage to think of a new way. So the next card is the Water card, representing our emotional self, or typically mine. And that was the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is a messenger of important news, good or bad. It indicates a revitalization with energy of youth, fresh ideas and ventures. A new project is on the horizon, waiting impatiently to be implemented. Negotiations may be an important part of the plan. Be observant of those around you as well as their motives. Put insight into situations is a must. Great planning for the future. Organization of ideas is at the forefront. Speak from the heart, and actions speak louder than words. So, from the app, it is a thoughtful, curious, intellectual writer-student. It could represent a person you know or will encounter at some aspect of yourself that is present or to call upon now. The Page of Swords is a youthful, cautious, thoughtful person. He seeks truth and justice above all else. He's willing to take risks with communication in order to get closer to the truth of a situation. He is a student of communication and can learn a lot about himself through his writing and conversations. This card could also represent some news that will alert you to the truth. So this is represents water, the exploration of my emotional self. So generally speaking, the cards, in addition to their various suits, also represent elements. So Cups is often water, Wands is fire, Pentacles is earth, and Swords is often air. So this is the explorer, but it's also like a pragmatist. Like, both sets here talk about somebody who's focused, driven, requiring good insight and planning, but this is an action-oriented person. Being in a place where it's time to take action from your heart. Which is, literally, speak from the heart and actions speak louder than words. Whereas the app is saying, take risks in communication to get closer to the truth of a situation. So, or that possibly some news that will alert you to the truth. So, this is representing, as an exploration of my emotional self, trying to come to terms with something. Something, I would say, is underneath all of probably whatever this... You can't see that. You can't see my hands. So, this card, I think, is representing trying to get to whatever the root cause of this is. Whatever the root cause of that insecurity with my goals and strategies. Trying to cut to the root of that and having an honest conversation about it, if only with myself. So the next card is the Four of Swords. So according to the website, it is a meditative card. This is a possible time for stepping back and regrouping. Take time alone to heal from an illness, from working too hard, broken relationships, or family struggles. You need to rebuild your physical and mental health. Relax and enjoy some time off. From the app, rest, reflection, mental restoration, incubating ideas, vacation. When this card appears, it's time for a break. Whether you're having a hard time working through a problem or starting to feel ill, or need some fresh ideas, the best thing you can do when the Four of Swords appears is retreat to a quiet place. It's not weakness to require rest at times. Stress can take a toll on our bodies, minds, and spirits. Taking time out to recuperate can give us the strength and fortitude we need to carry on. The Four of Swords may also be advising you to seek counsel or to go to an expert on advice. Or for advice, I should say. This card may also be advising you to keep some new idea to yourself for now. Let your idea grow in your mind before sharing it with the world. So that's an interesting thing in reference to... Wherever my cursor is, there it is. The Earth card, coping with everyday life. So I didn't mention this earlier, but I've been thinking for this month with some projects and stuff that I want to work on and feeling behind on some things, I was going to modify the streaming schedule. More specifically, I was going to be streaming every other week. This week is going to be on. Next week will be off. In part because I have on call for work, but in part for the other things that I mentioned. And then I'll be streaming again the week of I will be streaming again the week of the 14th through the 18th. And then off the week of Thanksgiving. So, in terms of coping with everyday life, the spread's telling me to take a vacation. Take it easy. Take some time to rest. And I'd already been planning about that, which is interesting. One of those things that just shows up and just like, man, I don't know if I believe in magic, but that's spooky. So yeah, take a break. Take a break, sit back, relax, meditate on some things. You're working too hard. You're working too hard. So, like I said, fun and interesting when the set gets sassy with you. So now, the next card, the Creator, the Page of Wands. It represents what drives you in new directions. So this is a fire card. Where's the wands in this? The Page of Wands, a minor arcana, indicates a messenger is near. A younger person has added to your creativity and can be a great influence. A new spark of innovation is introduced. Jump right in and release your passion. Your renewed energy and excitement is rubbing off on others. Do be careful of taking on too much. A request for your presence is coming. This is also time for the good news that you have been waiting for. There is much to learn from young ideas. However, unsolicited advice can be a distraction from your goals. According to the app, the Page of Wands is enthusiastic, adventurous, inspired, new desire, new identity, new idea, new journey, inspiring news. This card could represent a person you know or will encounter some aspect of yourself that is present or to call upon now. Which basically all the pages are like, this is somebody that you either have met or you're going to meet or is a bit of yourself that you're going to call on. But the Page of Wands is a youthful, enthusiastic, creative person. They're excited and willing to embark upon new adventures. They're healthy and full of vital energy. They're learning to use their energy to meet their goals. This could indicate eagerly beginning a new project or setting off on a new adventure. This could also represent exciting news. I think both of them said something like that. But creative card represents doing something new, doing something different, which is a thing I've known about myself. Years and years ago, I took some kind of quiz on what kind of gamer I am. And it broke it down into the 4 suits of a deck of cards. You had heart gamers who were all about socializing. You had clubs who were PvP people, competitive gamers. You had diamonds who were focused on achievements and getting rewarded for their efforts. And you had spades who were explorers and wanted to go off and do different things, find new stuff, learn new things. They were the lore keepers out of everything. And I very much was a spade, and every time I took that test. Spade and a little bit of diamond. I want to learn something new and then get a cookie for doing a good job. That's how I described it. So, yeah, seeing the Page of Wands as the person that inspires me to go off and learn new things, to do new things. New stuff is fun and interesting. Doing the same old ho-hum thing all the time is getting a little bit boring. Like, hard work is great, but I've been working too hard. And I'm feeling trapped because I'm not getting out and doing new things and exploring new things. That might be the truth that I'm trying to notice here. Now, what's the Sustainer card? The Queen of Swords. It's the last swords in the deck that we're checking. Where are you? Queen of Swords. It's cups. Reading from the site. It signifies an intelligent and courageous person. You keep your emotions in check and do not reveal them to others. You solve problems and connect to others intellectually. This is not a time to make decisions based on emotions. You must gather all the facts and balance the pros with the cons. When you allow sympathy and emotions to overrule your logic, this causes you to become unbalanced and irrational. You are usually unbiased in judgments of others or in tough situations. You do not skirt around the truth and you tell it like it is. At some point, you may have suffered a deep emotional or physical loss, it is not uncommon for you to be on your own, separated, or widowed. According to the app, this represents intelligent, truthful, clear communicator, self-aware, independent teacher, writer. Writer, huh? This card could represent a person you know or will encounter, and blah 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 blah. All the cards that are a face and a king, a queen, a page, which we haven't gotten any knights, but the knights probably said the same thing. But the Queen of Swords is a very independent woman. She has a great clarity of thought and pursues her desires with strength and maturity. She treasures solitude and is able to overcome loneliness by pursuing independent projects. She has a very sharp mind and a keen sense of justice and fairness. She has great self-awareness, but may be overly critical of her own thoughts. She would benefit from developing greater compassion for herself. She may have experienced great loss or sorrow in her life. The experience has enhanced her wisdom. Rational thought is sometimes the cost of emotional insight for the Queen. She can be cutting with her words and is well advised to consider others' feelings when she speaks the truth. It is possible to be both honest and kind. In a reading, she may represent that personal counsel that should be sought. When choosing an expert, look for someone who seems to have the forthright and clear characteristics of this queen. So that's an interesting card to pull for sustaining. So looking at the site here, where is my cursor? There it is. Sustainer is what helps you maintain a balanced and healthy life. So this is a card of logic and unbiased honesty. So this is about not lying to yourself. Or not lying to others as well, but I interpret this as kind of not lying to yourself. Like having suffered, having learned from it, and really sitting down and taking a good hard look at things to make decisions, not based on emotions, which is interesting because the next card in the spread is the Queen of Cups over here. And water is typically a very emotional card. Or cups being a water card tend to be very emotional. They are in many ways the opposite of swords. So for a queen to be both the sustainer and the destroyer is a very interesting pull. Notification. So let's look here. Queen of Cups is a happy and balanced card. They might represent you or another person. They are artistic, creative, nurturing, intuitive, and feminine. They represent a healer, advisor, or someone who uses psychic abilities. They are not one to hamper creativity in others. She is one to know what is ailing you before you even say. She is wise and has answers. She has strong intuition and is able to be empathetic. Maturity is one of the qualities depicted in this card. However, she does not always work to her full potential. She loves deeply, putting her partner before herself. She has a soft spot for children and animals and is very nurturing. You will have an opportunity to make stronger bonds and relationships. Joy in your accomplishments is on its way. You may find that this is achieved with the positive energies from people you have surrounded yourself with. With respect to relationships, your energies are focused and heading in the right direction. It is time for you to trust your inner voice. So according to the app, the Queen of Cups is empathetic, receptive, sensitive, introspective, psychic, emotional, loving, dreamer, counselor, or mother. They're a mature, sensitive, romantic person. She is an empathetic, soothing, and kind listener. She helps others to understand their own emotions. She's connected to her higher self and receptive to messages from her dreams. She pays close attention to her feelings and intuition. She always listens to her heart. She's a loving mother. She gives much to others and may require solitude in order to restore herself. Being near water restores and inspires her. She is artistic and visionary, but can sometimes be moody, emotionally manipulative, or deceptive. So that is an interesting thing to pull for the Destroyer card, to represent the energy that needs to be jettisoned in order to move forward. I would say there's two ways to look at this. My first gut instinct is the Queen of Cups in many cases, especially with the Queen of Swords right next to her, the Queen of Swords is saying you sustain yourself with rationality, clear thought, and clear unbiased thought. But the Queen of Cups is there being all emotional, being too attached, being too empathetic. So, in some ways, the Queen of Swords is warning that in order to enact your creative energies, in order to do your hard work, you need to stop, I don't want to say stop relying on other people, because the Queen of Swords is very much about solitude and solitary pursuits, but the Queen of Cups is about emotion and connecting with others. So it definitely seems like an overcommitment to others. Like, what's destroying me and what needs to be jettisoned is this constant need to try and help others or fix a situation connected with others. When in reality, I need to look after myself. Stop being emotional about it and take care of number one. Because if I can't take care of myself, I won't be able to take care of anybody else. So that makes sense in the spread. It makes sense a little bit with me. I can be the type to be a little self-sacrificing. I can be the type to put others first and not look after myself, not look after my basic needs sometimes. So warning that side of myself is doing too much and being too much. And I'm really kind of getting out there and not looking after my basic needs by trying to take care of far too many other people. No, that makes sense to kind of jettison and try to get rid of. So the next card is this one, the Seven of Pentacles, or the Light card. So, Seven of Pentacles is there, and so this, I should actually check the spread first. It represents the cosmic forces guiding you towards fulfillment. According to the website, signifies taking control and bringing back balance. Your unnecessary worrying about your hard work not paying off financially. Your sleepless and anxious nights are not necessary. If your enterprise is satisfying your soul, money to support it will follow. Recheck your goals to make sure you're on the right path. Plan your moves carefully and keep up the hard work. However, be open to change in direction. Your financial situation is improving, but be patient. It takes time for savings and other previous investments to accrue. Now on the phone, it says assessment, patience, trial and error, feedback, editing. It represents a time of pause and assessment. You've been working on some project, but now is the time to stand back and evaluate whether you're on the right track. What are your goals? Are you still directing your actions towards those goals, or have you been sidetracked? Have you been in a similar situation before, and if so, what did you do well then? What could you have done better? If things are not working out for you the way that you want them to, now is the time to look at what you can change. You are making progress, but some readjustment may be necessary before you can achieve mastery. And maybe someone else is evaluating your work at this time. Try to learn from this criticism without getting overwhelmed by the negative feedback. You're not failing, you're learning. So, I forgot to have the website up. So Cosmic Force is guiding me towards fulfillment. Patience, trial and error, feedback. So essentially, I'm getting feedback from some external force. Whether that's coworkers, bosses, other people I interact with. People are giving me input, they're giving me feedback, they're giving me information. And essentially it's probably to push me in a direction of assessing what's going on and being patient, not being overly emotional, not being fiery and full of energy. So in some ways I'm working hard, I'm feeling burned out. I need to take a break, and I need to acknowledge that. I get passionate about learning new things, and I do best when applying logic to situations, and there's something that I'm very emotional about and I'm very emotionally connected to that I need to let go of. It's not helping right now. It's getting in the way. It's hurting me. And what life is telling me is be patient, take another look, assess, and you're learning. You're trying. So in very much, it's trying to learn from mistakes. Which is very interesting because the next card, the Dark card, the Cosmos' reaction to my state of being, is the Judgment card, which is Major Arcana. I think the last two are both made. Yeah, last two are Major Arcana. So, Judgment on the phone, Judgment on the website. The Judgment card embodies those forces that require you to be accountable for your actions. Truths are revealed, mysteries are unraveled, and responsibility is assigned. Judgment unveils outcomes and marks the end of things. While this is a time to properly place guilt, it is also a time for atonement and forgiveness. Ultimately, the process of judgment should lead to freedom from errors made in the past and a fresh start with a clean slate. To that end, the Judgment card actually promises the start of a new journey on which you can apply what you have learned from your past. This is a good time for a career change. You're on the verge of making a most important decision. A positive outcome is imminent. This card also indicates a spiritual awakening, which will positively affect your mind, body, and spirit. You will obtain a clearer meaning to your life's purpose. You will take great joy in your accomplishments and experience clear thinking, which will bring on positive changes and personal rebirth and growth. According to the phone app, this represents a rite of passage, maturing, review, transition. It's a card of drastic change, of a release and review. Your current phase of life is coming to an end. Now is the time to look objectively at what has come before. In what ways did you succeed? Where did you fail? What big lessons did you learn? Life cannot stay as it is. Change is unavoidable. You will benefit now by being accountable for your choices and behavior. Be honest with yourself. Tune into your higher calling to learn where to go next. Pay attention to the big ideas you have now. They are not just impossible dreams. So, this card, the light card, represented the cosmic forces guiding us towards fulfillment, which was about review, patience, assessment. But the cards working against me, the dark card, is judgment, which is about maturing, is about transitioning, is about letting something go. Something's coming to an end. So maybe all of this is telling me that I need to make a change in my life. Maybe I need to change my work, that I've been working too hard and not getting what I want out of it, that I need to be honest about that, take a vacation, a break from what I've been doing so that I can do something new. I need to be logical about this and stop being emotionally connected to something or to an idea even. That I need to... Life is trying to encourage me to be thoughtful and assess things, but at the same time is pushing me to make a judgment, to make a call about something. Which is very interesting when the entire premise of the whole spread is the Tower. And that should focus better, please. Focus better, please. Alright, it's not focusing better, but the Tower. A card I am more familiar with than I wish I was. We're going to go to that one now. This is the premise, which is the foundation for the entire spread. The Tower card represents those things you are unwilling to face but must, or those things that you have no choice over. It indicates that something will be torn down or shattered violently. There is an indication that your ego may be deflated. You may suffer bankruptcy, or severe conflict within your career, a devastating relationship loss, or even a possible separation or divorce or imprisonment. Your life is in a state of upheaval. There will be a period of disorder, and there may be loss. Expect setbacks and emotional turmoil. However, there is a possible light at the end of the tunnel to relieve and free you. Even though you may find this overwhelming, this card insists that you make changes and look for the good in them. You may find yourself moving out of your current home and or a change in occupations. Positive outcomes can occur from this card. Truths will be laid bare. Revelations and breakthroughs are not only possible but likely, and nothing spurs creativity like a good dose of chaos and confusion. In the end, it is likely that the replacement of what was lost in the fall of the tower will be worth the loss. According to the app, the tower represents sudden shock, destruction, questioning beliefs, and chaos. Here's a card of shock and chaos. The structures and systems you've built in your life are being shook up. Assumptions you've taken for granted are going to be thrown into question. You're going to be forced to think in brand new ways. It could indicate a surprising event, such as being laid off, discovering a betrayal, an unexpected pregnancy, winning the lottery, or unexpected expenses like home or car repairs. Someone could have an emotional outburst. This card may just be a reminder to set aside a little bit of money each month, just in case. To have your emergency supplies ready. To have a plan in case of a fire or vehicle breakdown. Think what would happen in the worst case situation and prepare as much as you can. As advice, the tower is telling you to shake up your life. Take a look at your deeply held assumptions. Do they still serve you? Get outside of your normal mode of thinking by taking a trip, getting rid of old belongings, trying something new, or exploring a new philosophy. Drastic changes are required in your life. So again, looking at the spread, looking at what it is, the base purpose of the Detractus is a snapshot of the overall state, of my overall state, and expose everything from the most basic physical elements to the spiritual self. Hard work and dedication and getting close to finishing something and achieving a degree of mastery, but feeling trapped by it. Feeling like you can't get out. Trying to force myself to take an honest look at something and be blunt with myself if need be. But I need to take a rest, relaxation, regain some of my strength and vigor. I need to do something new. I need to focus on looking at things logically and not be emotional about it. Whether that's being emotionally attached to, whether that's just being emotional in general, or even just an emotional attachment to something. I talked about work not being great for me right now. Maybe this spread is telling me that it's time to change jobs. Maybe it's time to change careers. I haven't been happy there for a little while. It's actually part of why I took a leave of absence from work earlier this year. Maybe this spread's just straight up telling me, yeah, you've done your work. You put your time in, and now it's not serving you anymore. And it's time to be honest about that. Take a break. Do something new. Be logical about it. Think. Stop being emotional. Stop being connected to it. Take a deep assessment at it, because it's time to make a judgment, and you don't want to pull that trigger because you're afraid of the chaos. You're afraid of the upheaval. Either the upheaval that is going to naturally come from this, or the upheaval that could come from this. And this is why these fucking cards are goddamn psychic, I swear to God. Because they know things. They know things. I swear to God, they know things. What's this? I want to just check one thing quick here, folks. Yeah, those were some big emotional readings for myself. Well, let's just go with the trifecta. We did the overall life reading. Do that. I'm feeling a little cramped here. So yeah, it's these cards will be honest with you about a lot of things if you give them the chance. Also, what was the last one? The Emperor was on the bottom. So, yeah. In many ways, it feels like the cards are trying to push me to make a change in my life. Especially tonight. They're feeling my restlessness, my need to move on to do something different. Admittedly, I have been thinking about that. I've been hoping to get a promotion in at work, but if that doesn't happen, which, given the way work's been lately, there's a good chance it won't. And if that doesn't happen, there's a question of, like, well, what do you do then? What am I going to do? Am I going to hang around for longer, hoping for another promotion opportunity within my department? Am I going to go look somewhere else? I've been there about 7.5 years, or I will be by December. I think I'm going to stay there at least until then. But maybe the cards are telling me that when that comes around, and even if I get that promotion, if I don't get that promotion, maybe it's time to start looking elsewhere, to take what I've learned and pursue growth in a different direction, in a different place, with a different company. It's not the worst advice. Because in the end, I've worked hard and I've learned things, but I'm stagnating. I'm kind of locked in place. And yeah, interesting spread. Definitely a couple of spreads of like, you used to be this great, amazing, passionate thing, and now you're kind of a wreck. I don't think we've gotten any repeat cards in either of those spreads either, which is fun and interesting. But, my. So let's see. We've done past, present, future. We've done myself. Let's talk about romance. Or my utter lack of romance. Alright, so what are our other options in these spreads? Alright, turn on. We got the cross and triangle, which is used to explore questions concerning overall direction of your life. The Celtic cross is popular and sheds many aspects on life, but there are variations. You really need to concentrate on the question. Relationship spread is used to explore your relationship with others by exploring the needs and views of both parties. Think of your relationship with a specific person. Planetary spread may yield insight into a number of different aspects of your current life state. Astrology spread. Spiritual side, star guide. Birthday spread, which I'm not going to do this because my next birthday is in about 2 months. Tree of life. Dream exploration. Past life. Is that a good romance spread here? This is a relationship one, which I have done before. But I don't really have somebody that I would think of for that. Let's see, because I'm not finding anything great in the regular app on what we have. So I got one for a spread about relationships, which is this one here. This might be doable. I have one on my phone that is like a H-shaped pattern. So it's representing you and your partner's conscious thoughts, your emotional level, and your behavior and attitude, as well as the current relationship situation. I don't really have anybody that I'm in a relationship with right now. I do have at least one person that I'm attracted to and I like, and I presume nothing's going to come from it, but you know what? Yeah, let's do the relationship spread. Let's do this middle one here. We'll do this. We'll have some fun with that. Let's see what the cards think. This be another big spread. So again, why did we stop there? So I'm gonna think good and hard about this person and what they mean to me and what I might or might not mean to them, and just picture them in my mind. And then I'm gonna cut the deck at some point. And we're gonna lay the cards out. I'm going to cut right here near the top of the deck. So the spread is 1. Oh god, this spread is 6 cards tall. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, first card, how I view my partner or this person. Lovely. Conflict. Card 2, how this person views me. The Chariot. Card 3, what are my needs? The 5 of Swords. What are this person's needs? Well, we've already seen that. That might be our first repetition card. The current state of the relationship. Okay. We've got this card, which represents the path you would like the relationship to follow. Then we have the path your partner would like to see the relationship follow. The Hanged Man. Aspects of your relationship to consider. The Empress. And the question outcome. I really wasn't thinking of a question. I was just thinking of this person. The Hierophant. Okay. Bit tricky, bit complicated, bit messy. But let's see the reading. So, let me pull cards here first. So we've got that, and Chariot. Chariot, where's the Chariot? I'm just got a bunch of major arcanas in it, actually. So it's what, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Nice. And then swords. Followed by another swords. And then 2 wand cards. Followed by 3 major arcana. The Hanged Man, the Empress, and the Hierophant. Alright, let's do the reading. So, how do I view my partner? This person that I was thinking about when I put together this spread. So, this card is the 5 of Wands. So the wands typically represent fire and passion. We're going to go here to this. 5 of Wands here. 5 of Wands is about challenges. Opposition and challenges are pushing you forward. You'll be put through many tests. Bickering may become commonplace. You may find yourself fighting with others as if it was a game. However, some battles may be more intense. These struggles symbolize out with the old and in with the new. No matter which one, the outcome will bear its fruit and be positive. Social and business goals seem more attainable. It is indicated that you will need to keep your anger under control. Keep your emotions in check. This is no time to be a hothead. According to the app, competition, brainstorming, problems to solve, conflict. When this card appears, expect a conflict of some sort. What could possibly be harmful or negative, such as petty hassles, arguments, and clashing personalities, but it could represent friendly competition, such as in games and contests. In teamwork and relationships, it is nearly inevitable to have some differences in opinions. These differences should be treasured. It is from them that new ideas and interesting compromises emerge. Be wary of stubbornly holding on to an idea for the sake of it. Tremendous power can be had when we join our energy with that of others instead of fighting them. Remember what team you're on. This card could indicate petty hassles and annoyances. If this is the case, endeavor not to make more of your problems than they actually are. So in the spread, this represents my current view of the person. So, a card of conflict and disagreement. I'm going to do the interpretation along the whole thing at the end. But my current view of this person is very confrontational. Now, next card, their view of me, the Chariot. Got all my stuff up. The Chariot represents victory and personality traits required to attain it. Self-awareness and control are indicated. Courage, the ability to overcome fear and confront the unknown head-on, is a primary ingredient of any victorious campaign. So is the force of will. Often success is just as much of the product of willpower as a refusal to surrender. Be vigilant of problems may get in your way. Don't be complacent. The Chariot also signifies coming to others' aid and can represent the healthy personality of someone who believes in himself, overcomes personal demons, someone who can take control of a situation and bring events to a positive end. In order to succeed, it's important that you harness all the necessary energy. You'll be more in control and able to stay on the right path. This card also indicates that you have learned many important lessons from previous mistakes. According to the app, the Chariot represents momentum, competence, self-discipline, control, and determination. You're the Chariot in a reading. It is time to take control of your life. Stay focused on your goal. Harness all your resources to get to where you want to go. Don't get thrown off course by your emotions. Forgo short-term gratification for long-term accomplishments. The Chariot may also represent travel and transportation. So, I had said initially that I was going to do the entire interpretation. Yeah. Do the entire interpretation at the end. I've changed my mind. Since a lot of these are like how you view your partner, how your partner views you, we'll interpret that as this here. So my view of this person is passionate but confrontational. And their view of me as the Chariot is very interesting. They could see me as hard. It could be interpreted as they see me as someone disciplined, under control, hardworking. What else could we interpret that as? Willful or containing willpower. So, in a way, this almost reads a bit like I see them as picking small, petty fights for no reason, maybe just to be passionate, whereas they see me as being very focused and driven. That might not be what they're looking for. Or maybe it is. But they at least see me as somebody who's doing something, going somewhere, is focused on a goal and striving towards it with determination. So the next card, your needs, followed by your partner's needs. These two. So for the Five of Swords, I grabbed the wrong one. I grabbed the Seven of Swords, which is definitely not the right card. Alright, according to the website, the Five of Swords represents ambition, but not in a positive way. That is the use of unethical ways to achieve victory. You may be the one who's behaving this way, but if not, beware of some other individuals who is power hungry. You may not care who you have stepped on to obtain success. This behavior has created hostile and strained relationships. Your lack of regard for others' feelings has been put aside so that you could come out on top. Previous allegiances are broken due to your abuse of power. Oh, excuse me. My tea is finally wearing off. According to the app, the Five of Swords represents defeat, self-defeat, arguments, irritability, feeling attacked. And it appears it's time to ask yourself if what you're fighting for is worth it. You may be able to win now, but at what cost? You may say words that you can never take back in an argument with a loved one. Maybe cling tightly to an idea that is not actually that important in the big picture of your life, hurting others in the process. You may be remaining in an unhealthy situation in order to prove you're right. For example, staying in an abusive relationship because you don't want others to say, "I told you so." The Five of Cards is telling you that winning may not be the most important thing right now. There are times when it may become necessary to hurt others through your words or actions in order to be true to yourself. Is now one of those times, or are you just trying to win for the sake of winning? This card can indicate that you have been repeating patterns that you know are dysfunctional and do not align with your ideal self. It is not weakness to admit that you want to change. The ability to recognize our faults is actually a huge strength. I'm actually going to rearrange this slightly. This was me, this was them. This was me, this was them. It's going to be me up the left, them up the right. And then we've already seen this card. This was take a break, a vacation, rest is needed. Escapism in a way. So looking at the spread, this card here represents my needs in the relationship. And I would say this is a warning. This is wanting to win at any cost. My needs in the relationship, I need a win. I need a victory. And I'd be willing to do a lot of terrible things to do it. At least that's what the card is warning me about. And that's not a good card for a relationship, especially one in my instance where it's not even a relationship, it's a crush. So, yeah, that's giving me a warning. And this is letting me know what this person wants and needs. And more than anything, they're probably overworked, running themselves in the ground, doing too much. So coming at them with this kind of energy here is probably a bad thing. Especially if my opinion of them and my view of them is that they're confrontational. Because it's basically saying you're looking at them as a source of conflict. You're interested in winning at any cost. But it might cost you something. And something that's important to you. I was wrong. This is what it is. Right? Yes. There it lines up properly. So yeah. So number 5, this one over here, represents the current state of the relationship. The 10 of Wands. It is the card of burdens and martyrs. You're getting closer to your goals. Nervousness is evident, but your drive is reemerging. Being a workaholic is causing you to neglect many other areas of your life which are as necessary and important. Just as necessary and important. Victory is certain if you follow your visions. You have unconditional support. There's a tendency to take on the troubles and burdens of others. You are handling more than others can do for themselves. You have untapped energy which is hidden due to all that you're carrying. However, you are close to reaching your goals. Yes, that's what that one says. According to the app, this is the card of responsibility, burden, obligations, success, and stress. This card often shows up when someone's enthusiasm has resulted in them taking on a lot of responsibility, so much responsibility that they feel overburdened or resentful. When we try to do too much, we are often unable to do anything effectively. When we're doing too much, we miss opportunities for new inspiration and growth. We may even be at risk of physical or emotional injury. This card reminds us to pare down, remember our priorities, and eliminate the unnecessary. Take stock of your priorities. Is everything you do serving your ultimate goals, or have you acquired some habits that take your time and energy with very little payoff? Vulcan 3, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. I hope you're having fun with this tarot reading stream. So we are doing a romance one. Hey. We are doing a romance tarot spread right now between me and an unnamed crush. And the cards, they are not being kind. They are being very blunt with me. But that's fine, I can take it. I probably should take it. But we just did these 4 cards here. And this one right up here. I'm doing some readings on my own, but yeah, we can do one for you if in a little bit if you'd like. Just let me finish this one here for the relationship stuff, and I'll do like a 3-card spread for you. Does that sound okay? Cool. So yeah, the card here, the 10 of Wands, represents, in this particular spread, the current state of my relationship with this crush, which is burdened, obligation, responsibility, stress. So it's not a good situation in the relationship. Especially since I'm viewing them as a source of conflict, and my needs kind of make me feel like I need to win at any cost, which is not good either. And they're viewing me as somebody reliable and dependable, which is a contrast with what my needs are. I don't necessarily think they're seeing me very honestly. And I'm seeing them as a source of conflict when what they most desperately need is some rest. And we're probably both pushing ourselves way too hard and are way too overburdened. So the next card, next two, is the path you would like your relationship to follow and the path this partner would like your relationship to follow. This is me, and this is them. So, the Ace of Wands, which is our last wand, and then it's also, we can go just sit in the Major Arcana the rest of the time and be a little bit easier to find these cards. But according to the website, the Ace of Wands is the card of action and energy. Intuition is high. Ideas with ambition and hard work create a new reality. Ambition is your driving force. Possible outcomes are in front of you. You need to figure out how to go forward. It can represent family, start of a new venture, unexpected inheritance, a new path in life, and a birth. According to the app, Ace of Wands represents birth, energy, inspiration, sexuality, self-image. When this card appears, look for a new opportunity. It's a seed to be nurtured. It's a new bright idea, a burst of creative energy, a source of inspiration. Excitement, enthusiasm, and energy for something new are available when the Ace of Wands appears in a spread. Now is your chance to be courageous. This card can also indicate new life conception at birth, both literally and metaphorically. In a love reading, the Ace of Wands is an indication of passion, excitement, and fun. In a career reading, this card appears. Look for opportunities to be creative and express your enthusiasm. As with all aces, this is a new opportunity that must be grasped in order to come to fruition. So that represents... there it is. The path that I would like the relationship to follow. So this is a very clear, I would like to be in a relationship with this person. So this is one of the most obvious, and not only just a relationship, but a passionate and probably sexual. Which, yes, I have a crush on them. The cards have told me something I already kind of knew, guys. But of interest here is the next one, which is the path my partner, this crush, that they want the relationship to follow. According to the website, the Hangman represents sacrifice, surrender, and selfless acts. This is a time for your patience and renewal. Understand what your future needs might be. It embodies the notion that sometimes to lose is to win. It's time to give up trying to do things your way. It might be time to do the exact opposite. He creates his fate through inaction and accepts his new fortune passively without resistance. He does not struggle to control the path his life takes, but rather allows events to sweep him where they will, even if he is called upon to sacrifice himself. So at ease with the fate that the universe has chosen for him, even hanging upside down from a tree does not ruffle any feathers. In other words, outcomes are based on faith rather than knowledge. He relies on his intuition, is not shy of prophecies, and may use divinations. According to the app, the Hangman represents surrender, a new perspective, waiting, sacrifice, release. It's a card of patience, contemplation, and sacrifice. The greatest benefit will be had when you are able to let go. Don't try to take control of the present situation. Try to make peace with uncertainty. Take time to observe your environment and situation from a new perspective. Review what has come before. Notice the blessings that come out of hardship. It is a good time to look at past tarot readings and journals in a new light. A sacrifice may be required now in order to move forward. Now is a time to get in touch with the spiritual aspect of yourself. So since these two cards here represent what I want in the relationship and what this other person wants, very much my representation is I want something new. I want to build something new, something passionate, fiery, maybe even a bit sexy. But this other person doesn't want that right now. What they want is to hang back in action. They want time. They want space. Which, given the rest of the spread, I feel makes sense. I'm viewing them as a source of conflict in some ways, and I'm a bit willing to win at any cost in order to have this new thing that I want. And while they view me as somebody who's reliable, stable, and determined, they're not really seeing me correctly. And what they need more than anything now is rest, because we're both feeling stressed. Me from all of this conflict, me from the things we saw in my earlier spreads talking about work and career and life. There's a lot of stress from me, and there's a lot of stress for this other person. And they need a rest right now. They don't need me forcing the issue. They don't need me trying to win at any cost, try and get some victory that will ultimately clash with what this person wants. So overall, I think these 6 are a pass. Don't try and get in a relationship. Definitely don't try and force the relationship. If it happens, it happens. But sit back, be patient, go with the flow, give them time to rest. Be that determined, put together person that they see me as. That will serve me far more than being conflicted or trying to win at any cost. This is not the time for underhanded actions in order to try and get a relationship. But there's still 2 cards left to read. So, next one is aspects of your relationship to consider, which is this one, the Empress. And number 9, the question's outcome, the Hierophant. So, questions to consider. No, not questions to consider. This is aspects to consider. According to the website, the Empress is the Earth Mother, symbolizing fruitfulness, fertility, or the beginnings of a new venture. She embodies all that is nurturing and wholesome. She cares for life on a grand scale. She understands that life's simple pleasures bring the most joy, although she enjoys the finer things as well. She is sensual, earthy, and generous. She can represent creativity in some people and a broadening of horizons. This card indicates growth, prosperity, and joy. Also, there is a message of patience. Any delays in life are only temporary. You will have good health, domestic stability, and happiness, and you will reap the benefits of your efforts. Expect great outcomes. In fact, your rewards will be greater than you have ever anticipated. According to the app, the Empress is nurturing, creativity, sensuality, mother. When it appears in a reading, it's a time to create. Your environment offers you, press the button weird, offers you the abundance you need to feel nurtured and comfortable so that you can manifest your vision in the world. Inspiration is all around you. Make sure to nourish yourself with whole foods, indulge all of your senses, connect with nature by working in a garden or deeply inhaling the scent of trees and flowers. Connecting with the creative, empowered people will enhance your creative spirit. It is a time to celebrate your fertile, sensual, and creative self. Your mother or the general principle of mothering may be significant now. So that's something to keep in mind. That even though I want a thing, even though I'm willing to do great and terrible things to get it, with a person that I'm probably feeling like I'm going to fight with anyways, in some ways, they need me to wait. They need time to rest and heal from the stress that we're both dealing with, and they need me to be that rock. But in the end, it's about nurturing things. It's about keeping in mind that good things take time to grow. If anything's going to come out of this, it will not come from forcing the issue. It will require patience. Hang back. Let things grow. Don't be that person that forces something when it otherwise needs to wait. That's the thing to keep in mind, I think. And the last card, the question's outcome, is the Hierophant, which is also, I think, 2 off from the Empress. The Hierophant is also referred to as the Pope. Represents a mentor, teacher, a spiritual counselor. Symbolizes marriage, unions, romance, and meaningful relationships. He shows great mercy and goodness to all. He's very much like a teacher or a priest. He serves as a great inspiration. The Hierophant is certainly not one to buck proper authority. He's a conformist. He is a staunch and worthy defender of the tried and true. This card may be an indication that you use that you could use direction offered by a group depending on your needs and situation. Embrace traditions and rituals, but always think for yourself or call upon someone you consider a mentor to guide you. According to the app, the Hierophant represents a teacher, a belief system, knowledge, conscientiousness, responsibility. When the Hierophant appears in a reading, it's time to examine your beliefs. You may have an opportunity to teach someone something about life. Will your teachings be flexible so that your student can integrate them into their own life, or your teachings rigid and dogmatic? Who or what has been your teacher? Do the lessons you've learned serve you well now, or is it time to seek a new teacher? Are you making a decision based on what you believe you should do, or are you tuned into your higher calling? So that's an interesting thing as the answer to the question. Because according to one source, the Hierophant, being a priest, represents marriage, union, romance, meaningful relationships. So there will probably be one coming out of this, if I can master these negatives in myself and show this person patience and nurture a relationship properly and give them time to rest and recover from whatever they're dealing with right now. But it feels like that's kind of warning me that I'm too stuck in my own ways. I think it's almost like it's doubling down on this card here. This is like, no, I have to do certain things in order to get this relationship started. And the Hierophant's sitting back and saying, something will come, but be patient. Have faith. Follow the old traditional lines. Don't be so desperate to get what you want, you're willing to skip steps. Because that's how I'm choosing to read and interpret it. Because in the end, anything worth having is worth nurturing. This is a person who needs me to sit back and go with the flow, and they need different things in life than what I need. So, yeah. I think generally speaking, the spread is saying, yo, this crush, don't act on it. Let it grow. Give it time. Be patient. They need patience. They need patience like you need the relationship. Let yourself be that rock. Be caring and concerned with them. Don't lie to them. Don't do underhanded things. You want to, don't. They need rest. You're both stressed. So yeah, I think in general it's probably a warning against the relationship. Or at least definitely against forcing it now. Looking at the bottom of the deck, as I have all these others, King of Cups. Alrighty, right. Vulcan, you still there? Alright. So I want you to think of a question or something you're interested in. And I will dig into the cards and get you an answer. Now, with most things here, we've just met. I don't think the reading is going to be super duper deep. Maybe I'll be able to tell you something and give you a little bit of insight, but give me a simple question and I'll divine either what it's been like, where it's at, where it's going. Maybe something else. But we're gonna stick to simple questions here. What is coming for me in your career this month? Interesting. What is coming for Vulcan 3 in their career this month? What's coming for Vulcan 3 in their career this month? I'm going to cut it right here. What's coming in Vulcan's career this month? what's been going on, what's going on now, and what's up ahead. So the past has been the Ace of Cups, the present, the Knight of Pentacles, and the future, the Devil. All right, let me pull these cards from the listing and we'll see what the translation is. Knight and Devil. All right. So first one, Ace of Cups. Where are you? Where are you? Ace of Cups. Okay. So according to the website, the Ace of Cups represents new possibilities, a chance for happiness. Creative ideas and good feelings are flowing. There's an opportunity for a new deep passion to stir or a new loving relationship to blossom. It can also indicate the start of a new project created with a lot of loving energy or the beginning of a new life. Intuition is high, so allow your psychic energies to surface. This is a point where your intuition and heart are working together. A new understanding involving your spirituality is revealed to you, which will help you achieve your dreams. That's this card, which in this order I put in the past position. According to the app, Ace of Clubs represents new feelings, new love, awakening intuition, flowing emotions, and imagination. When this card appears, look for new opportunities for love, friendship, or spiritual growth. This is an opportunity for intimacy and pleasure. It could be an invitation to a social gathering, a romantic getaway, a marriage, a letter from a dear friend, or a chance to indulge yourself with that which makes you feel truly happy. You may receive a heartfelt gift. This is also a chance to make a fresh start emotionally. It may indicate a need to let your feelings flow freely, whether this is expressing your love for another or letting your tears out. It can also indicate conception, a pregnancy, or a birth. It indicates an opening of intuition, a chance to tune into your higher self. When this card appears, pay attention to your dreams and be receptive to the subtle signs around you. Now, the card representing the present is the Knight of Pentacles. This card is dependable and hardworking. It addresses a logical, practical, and disciplined young person. They are also an individual with high energy who's diligent and channels all of that into hard work. They're methodical and someone who may be depending on you. Someone you may be depending on in your life. The Knight is set in their ways and usually happy with the status quo. That's according to the website. Looking at the app, where's the Knight? According to the app, the Knight is loyal, dependable, practical, hardworking, cautious, attention to detail. Could represent a person you know or will encounter, or some aspect of yourself that is present or to call upon now. The Knight of Pentacles is a cautious, slow-moving, dependable person. He's very careful about everything he does, and sometimes gets so caught up in the details that progress is halted. The progress he does make, however, is sturdy and long-lasting. He is a loyal, reliable friend. He may sometimes be boring or stubborn, but he gives well thought out and practical advice. He can be controlling, but may value principles and rules over all else. He values comfort and security and loves luxury. He's able to take what he learned from academic studies and past experiences and use it in very practical ways. And finally, the card for the future, the Devil. According to the website, the Devil is often misunderstood because of the devil's presence in the card, but it is not directly a representation of evil. It can relate to a person's focus on material possessions or physical appearance. A hopeless or helpless feeling can surround this card. You are tricked into feeling possessed as if by a hidden force, which is causing harmful and negative thoughts and behaviors. You have an addiction or obsession to obtain earthly desires. You are willing to take any measures to get them. You have become inflexible and obsessed. The spiritual side of life is neglected because of the attachment to the physical world. There is a desire for material things and selfish presence. This is adversely affecting you and your relationships. Unwanted actions and self-bondage are something. Unwanted actions and self-bondage to something are often experienced, which hinder personal growth or belief. You are unwilling to accept responsibility for your negative actions. As the saying goes, the devil made me do it. And according to the app, the devil represents attachments, restrictions, commitment, limitations. It is a card of indulgence in material pleasure. When the devil appears, there is something that you do that feels good but is not good for your health or well-being. You know you shouldn't have another glass of wine, charge those shoes to your credit card, or fall into bed with that troublesome lover, but you do it anyways. You may be ignoring your higher self and be disconnecting from your spirit. In some way, you are deceiving yourself. Sometimes the devil shows up and a little fun is exactly what you need. Sometimes we need to let go, break our own rules, and forget about the consequences until tomorrow. So, what's coming in Vulcan's career this month? So in the past, you've had opportunities for new growth, some of them big. And I feel like you've been working hard at them. Doing slow, methodical work, and you've built a sturdy foundation. And this is an interesting one to pull. Because in a lot of ways, it is negative and inverts what this card does. Because this card is you might be inflexible. This card is you might be caught. This is a card of getting stuck in a temptation or in a way of thinking. It's a card of vices, but sometimes it's about giving in to vice, and sometimes it's about recognizing temptation. So, coming from a place of you've had opportunities, you've worked hard on at least some of them, something's going to come up. Something's going to happen this month. Whether that's going to be an offer at work for an opportunity or a promotion or a project, is going to be something. And that something will probably be a temptation in some capacity. Now, that could take many things. It could be an opportunity on a project that you're desperate for, but that could be a trap. Or it could be that you were slighted for a project and you will be upset and angry and want to lash out. Be mindful of your vices. Something's going to come up that's going to be a bit of a trap. Be careful, be attentive. It's not about saying no. Sometimes it's about saying yes. But it is important to be mindful of what's coming, because something isn't entirely what it appears to be. That's how I would read this. So yes, something's coming. There's going to be news. But what form that takes might not be readily apparent. At least that's how I'm choosing to read these cards. What do you think? Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to practice. That's a big part of why I'm fiddling around with these cards tonight, because I haven't touched them in a year or two, maybe longer. So sitting back, relearning them, getting in touch with myself, doing something new, which one of my earlier readings definitely was telling me, yeah, you're in a rut, do something new. And I'm like, well, I'm here playing with tarot cards for the first time in a while, so I might as well do that. And the card at the bottom, Knight of Cups, because I just like looking at that one. All right, let's put these back in the deck. Would anybody else like a reading? If anybody else is there to ask. Yeah, I like the Rider-Waite just because it's what I learned when I started. So I know those cards fairly well. At least I used to. But they're fun and interesting. And I was telling a story earlier about a particular card spread that I worked with in the past that the tarot or the tower card showed up at a very conspicuous placement in that spread. And sure enough, when I played that spread tonight, I got the tower in a different spot, but it did show up again in that stupid spread. And sometimes it's spooky. It's very spooky. But I am going to switch to another deck now, just to have some fun. This is a nice little box I have for them that I got from somebody years ago. Good thing to put my cards in. Yeah, I have the traditional, like, blue and black and white checkered pattern. But I'm gonna get out the mini deck. These ones, because these are fun. So these are extra small cards, but they're super cute. Like, that's the Judgment card. That's the Two of Cups. There's our Devil card. This is the Seven of Swords. That's cute. The Justice. Ah. Yeah, I got this at like a bookstore at one point. It actually comes with a little book inside of it to help you interpret. Does anybody have another spread that they want me to run? Nobody speaks up. Vulcan, do you have another question, maybe? Will your girlfriend leave her job soon for a better one? Vulcan's girlfriend leave their job soon for a better one. Cut it here. Past, present, future. Nail technician wants to go back to housekeeping, cleaning type work. Nice. All right, pass card. The Tower. Things have not been good in the past. The present, the Queen of Pentacles, and the future. The Six of Cups. Now, in addition to the other stuff, I'm going to use the little book they gave us here, because this is sometimes good. The Tower. Everyone wants to be admired. Others embellish the truth. Oh, I heard another follow. Hello, Kitty Liddy 90. Thank you for the follow. So the Tower. Everyone wants to be admired. Others embellish the truth, but what's necessarily and real will prevail. Illusions will be shattered. Enemies revealed. Don't be upset if things don't turn out as planned. Try to compromise and see others' point of view. When reversed, do things. but I'm not doing reversals. So let's look up these cards. So we've got the Tower, the Queen of Pentacles, and I believe it's the Six of Cups. All right, Six of Cups, yes. So we've already done the Tower on the website, but it's chaos and something that must be torn down and violently shattered. The Tower remains the Tower. But sudden shock, destruction, questioning beliefs, chaos. So in your question about whether your girlfriend will leave her current job soon for a better one, I think I've mentioned is her past. You said that she was out of work for a while. I think there's some concern and fear there. That past is holding her, is what's kind of keeping her from making a major decision now. I'm a part of it. We've also got the Queen of Pentacles here. Pentacles in general are a card that represents money and earthly values, but they are kind, loving, or the Queen of Pentacles, according to the website, is kind, loving, and motherly. May represent a mother figure in your life. They cherish the finer luxuries in life. They're shrewd in business. They're sensual and open with their feelings. The keen business sense and organizational abilities serve her well. She works hard at everything, feeling that it will benefit her in the future. This indicates that you are independent, yet you are able to offer nurturing to others. You're able to take care of her commitments and those of family and friends who need her support. Trying to stick this out for as long as possible. Yeah, I think the present might be that she's worried about money and about security for the family. Or maybe not even for the family, just for the relationship. Especially if there's been chaos in the past. Looking at it as, okay, you know, what's the bottom line? The bottom line is paying bills and taking care of business. And that's of relevance. And according to the app on my phone, the Queen of Pentacles is protective, nurturing, resourceful, abundant, down-to-earth, fertile, healthy, ecological, homemaker, mother. Would represent a person you know or will encounter some aspect of yourself that is present or to call upon. They're a practical and organized woman, successful in business and creating a secure, comfortable home for herself and for those she loves. By making sensible decisions, she has made steady and sustainable progress. She's well-grounded and emotionally balanced. She cares for and nurtures others. She's a nurturing mother. When she appears in a reading, fertility may be represented. The Queen of Pentacles has a concern for the environment and makes efficient use of resources. She's soothed by spending time in nature. And the last one is the Six of Cups, the future. And book. Opened almost exactly to it. The Six of Cups. Your personal magnetism is on the rise. Be firm in affairs of the heart. Don't let the past detract from the present. This is an excellent time to start a new love affair, renew vows, or relocate. According to the website, the Six of Cups, which is, it's different in this deck versus the Rider-Waite. In this one, it's somebody kind of daydreaming over, like sitting by a well. In Rider-Waite, it's somebody giving people flowers. So the Six of Cups represents nostalgia, revisiting memories of events and people from the past. It's healthy to revisit your past so that you can understand yourself in here and now. However, don't retreat into those happy memories to escape present challenges which you may be facing. It symbolizes the childhood innocence and naivete you once had, which can indicate your detachment from adult responsibility or your longing for safety and security of childhood. You may have blinders on when it comes to a relationship, business, or personal. Childhood friends might positively influence your future. There might be a physical trip down memory lane, a visit to your old stomping grounds, or perhaps you'll reconnect with an old acquaintance. And according to the app, the Six of Cups represents kindness, caring, nostalgia, memories, childhood. It's a card of friendliness, innocence, and childhood. When it appears in a reading, be thankful for small gestures of kindness and find ways that you can brighten the day of another. If you're having difficulty in some area of your life, tune into your inner child, that gentle, innocent, and wise part of yourself that has always been with you, for guidance. You may be thinking of your past, especially your childhood. What lesson from the past is relevant to you now? It may also be that someone or something from your past will be useful to you now. Think back to your past experiences for guidance. It may also represent beautifying your home or choosing a gift. If this is the case, simplicity and authenticity are key. So with regards to your girlfriend leaving her nail technician job to go back to housekeeping and cleaning, I think it's definitely possible. Like there is that desire to go back to that other method of life, that simpler, easier way of just making things clean again. But I think the things that are currently holding her back from that are a concern with some foundational necessities, money, income, stability, as well as a fear from issues in the past and turmoil she went through. So I would say she's probably on the fence. And you had asked about what news you would have coming from work. And I said, news would be coming. And you've worked hard to get it, but it's going to be a temptation. And it's entirely possible that this is the temptation. That your partner is concerned about money and finances, and they're worried that leaving their job is going to create turmoil in their life and yours. And what's going to happen? And they might want to go back to that simpler life, but they can't right now for whatever reason. And that might be your temptation. You might get that job offer that you're like, all right, this sounds like a hard job to do, but if I take it, she won't be so concerned about money. She'll be able to go back to doing what she loves. And that could maybe be a problem for you. And maybe be a problem for your relationship. Again, you pulled the devil for your future card. It's about a temptation. And sometimes that comes from indulging someone else and trying to take care of them to take them back to a place where they want to. So again, I'm not saying don't. I'm saying be careful. Wanting you to get work ASAP. And that is important. And you're working hard now. But maybe it's not the best thing to take the first opportunity that comes to you because it might not be a good one. But maybe it is. It's just worth recognizing that there will be temptations for you this month. Work-related ones, at least. And again, it's worth being mindful of your motivations and your intentions, because that's how you deal with a card like the devil, because it's all about temptation. And if you're aware, like, oh, this is really appealing to me because of this reason, because of that reason, that helps you be a little bit more practical and logical, because you did in the present pull the Knight of Pentacles, and here's your girlfriend pulling the Queen of Pentacles. So I think you're both trying to be very practical and pragmatic about this. But I do think she definitely wants to go back to that simpler life. And I'm sorry to say that. I think there might be some trials coming up for the two of you. Not necessarily bad ones, though they may harken back to some bad times in the past. But don't give up hope. You are both in line. You are both down to earth, pragmatic, and you got your wits right now. Both of you, I think. So, I think you'll be all right. It's just a matter of paying attention, being mindful, and making the best of the choices that are available to you. And sometimes that means saying yes, and sometimes that means saying no. Maybe a little bit of both for both of you. If that makes any sense. And also, what was the card on the bottom? The Magician. Actually, can you see that? Yeah, you could. Sure, Vulcan. I don't mind. It's nice to be able to have somebody in the stream to chat with and do readings for. Mostly been reading my own stuff tonight is just kind of practice, and that's all well and good. And the cards gave me some good information. I think I might need to do some job-related stuff as well. But how about you, Kitty Lady? Would you like a reading? How about anybody else in chat? Would you like a simple 3-card reading? I've got some time left. We got about 40 minutes left before I'm going to call it for the night. If not, I may pull some for myself. I might actually break out that last deck too. I was using Rider Waite for the first 2 hours of stream. It'd be fun to break out something else too. This is the third deck. The Ephemeral Visions Illuminated Tarot Cards by Matt Hughes, which has all the traditional Rider-Waite cards, plus it has some additional cards for the Major Arcana. Bottom card of the deck is 5 of Swords. These feel bigger than the normal cards. Any takers for a draw? Anybody? Does not want to go in there. Now, if nobody wants to draw, I am going to just pull 3 for myself. Let's pull 3 from my living situation. I've been saving money a little bit, or trying to, and I've been hoping to get out of my apartment and into an actual proper house, but I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to do that, so that'll be an interesting question. You wanted to come out. This one. I think this one wants to come play. So. Past, present, future. What's my situation like for housing? Past, the Hanged Man. Present, the 9 of Swords. Future. Oh, thank you for the follow. Is that Sentinu the Hunter? Am I saying that right? Not sure if I'm saying that right. I hope I am. Alright, welcome to the stream. So So the future card for this is the Knight of Wands. So we've gotten some of these before, but we have not gotten Nine of Swords or the Knight of Wands. So I'm just going to use this book here quick to look at these. So the Hanged Man. An indication that it is time to end old ways and release restrictions that are holding back in life. Time for inaction and reflection in order for new opportunities to manifest. You must be willing to sacrifice something to gain something new. Upright, it is sacrifice, release, new perspectives, and surrender. So, with regards to my question about housing and my home and my situation at life and home, I think I was very much going with the flow in the past, which makes sense. And the current situation is the Nine of Swords. Upright represents depression, crisis, fear, and anxiety. I definitely have some anxieties in my current life. I don't really have them about my living situation, though perhaps this is representing my situation at work and what will I do if things at work don't work out? Will I have to change jobs? Will that income insecurity cost me my home? Will it cost me this idea I had of what to do with my living situation? I have some idea that I want to do, and maybe that's just not going to happen, or not happen in the way that I want it to. Or at least maybe that's what I'm afraid of. And for the future, we have the Knight of Wands. Determination, energetic, impulsiveness, and passionate. That's not super full. I'm going to pull another reference for that. So I have not pulled a Knight of Wands yet. Adventurous, risk-taking, experimental, fun, passionate, travel. So, fire card. Wind card. And then a major arcana for the past. So I would say my past has been governed largely by a laissez-faire attitude towards my housing situation. I haven't taken it very seriously. And currently I'm in a situation where I'm very concerned about what's going on. Maybe that's just not affecting me directly, but I'm definitely having some underlying concerns. Oh, you have a dragon deck. Nice. Very, very nice. And for the future, I think I am going to get a house at some point in the relative future, but it's going to be adventurous and risk-taking. It's going to involve something new. So maybe that involves a new job and going somewhere else. Maybe it involves moving for work. I don't know. We'll see. But it's not a clear yes or no in my interpretation. Definitely like this card I get. And this one is insecurity. And this one is taking a risk, taking chances. So it probably says to do this, but I don't really know how I would do that. Maybe that's what will reveal itself. Maybe there'll be something that comes out that galvanizes me to be like, I need to find a new home. It's time. And that's what will put the knight on his quest. Card at the bottom of the deck is Six of Wands. Alright, I'm going to have a drink of water. A sec here. Better now. Okay. So let's shuffle this again and do another reading. So, Mr. Hunter, or Mr. the Hunter, perhaps I should call you. Would you like a reading tonight? Doing those right now. No cost, just doing it for fun for the last half an hour or so of stream. Okay. I'm just going to do a simple 3-card spread. Past, present, future. What's your question? You don't want to go in there, do you? Where do you want to go then? Can you get a past life reading? I'm not super familiar with that spread, at least in the context of a 3-card spread. I've got one on the website I was using earlier. Past life. I've got one that's like an 8-card spread. That's a little bit complex. I could do one. It's been relatively quiet tonight. At least until the last half an hour or so. Or not half an hour. Yeah, I guess half an hour. I've had a couple followers all in quick succession. Yeah. Which deck would you like me to use? Do you want me to use the shiny foil one that I was using here? This deck? Do you want me to use the little mini deck here? Or I have a Rider Waite deck? Mini deck. Okay. Already shuffled this, but past life reading. The spread I've got is 8 cards. Emotional influences, mental influences, spiritual influences, physical influences, karmic debt owed, karmic lessons to learn, past life impact on present life, and past life impact on the future. Let's cut it here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me move those a little closer. All right. First card, emotional influences of your past life. The 5 of Cups. Then we have the mental influences of your past life. I'm going to turn them all over at first, and then we'll get back to it. Justice. Major Arcana. The spiritual influences of your past life. The Emperor. And the Major Arcana. The physical influences of your past life. The 4 of Swords. The karmic debt owed because of your past life. The 4 of Pentacles. No, the 6 of Pentacles. My apologies. Then the karmic lessons learned to learn from your past life. The 10 of Wands. The past life impact on your present life. Another Major Arcana. the world. And finally, the past life impact on your future. The Five of Swords. So let's get to reading that. Let me go to the website here and pull up this stuff. The little booklet with this one is, I don't really like it that much, so I'm not going to be using that so much as other interpretations. So we got the Five of Cups, followed by two major arcana, which is the Justice and the Emperor. What? That's interesting. Justice is 8 for this deck, but in rider weight it is 11. Curious. The Emperor is 4. Then we have the Four of Swords. Followed by the Six of Pentacles. Then the Ten of Wands. Followed by another major arcana with the World, and finally the Five of Swords. Alright, let's get to read. So, the first card, this one, represents the emotional influences of your past life. So the Five of Cups indicates a deep sorrow, a brush with tragedy or loss. It is a sign of dissatisfaction about what you do not have or what you could not have done, or what you could have done. You need to move on from the past. Don't beat yourself up over what has taken place in the past. Although it is hard to let go of bitter memories, you need to let go. If you've forgotten, every cloud has a silver lining. That which has been lost, whether monetarily or emotionally, needs the utmost forgiveness from you. Forgiveness will set you free. Also, you have to look for any positives that come out of the loss. When a door closes, a window opens. Where is this in this one here? Sadness, mourning, disappointment, regret, suffering, emotional adjustment. It represents loss. It appears when feelings of disappointment, regret, sadness, and grief are at work. Loss is suffered is of something dear to the heart, whether a relationship, a loved possession, or a cherished dream. It may be a loss voluntarily taken, but it doesn't make it any less painful. Lesson to be learned from this card is that with loss also comes change, but change opportunity. We can avoid loss if we avoid pursuing our heart's desire, but if we have the courage to risk loss, we may also gain true fulfillment. So, Mr. the Hunter, are you a bit of an old soul then, perhaps? A quiet sadness to you, maybe? Something you can't shake that you can't put your name on. Or can't put your finger on. Alright. So I'm going to do 2 readings for the next card. It's classified as the Justice. And represents, I think it was the mental influences of your past life. It signifies that although things seem askew, the universe is ultimately fair. You may not see or understand why things happen, but most people sense there is, in fact, a reason why, and the balance exists when you cannot even see it. You hate when that some say you're an old soul. I apologize. I actually like that term. I'll try not to use it going forward. Justice denotes fairness and arbitration, regardless of who you are. At its purest, the force embodied by justice gives you the power to see without bias and the courage to be accountable for your actions. This is a time to reflect on your decisions and actions and also to be aware of their long-term consequences. More importantly, you cannot be honest with others until you're honest with yourself. Be wary of those who have dishonest intentions towards you. Make sure you are not acting in this way as well. Faith will be tested at times. You have the tools and strength to fight injustice in your everyday life. All you have to do is use them. This card may indicate that there could be a legal settlement or decision, such as divorce. Expect a fair judgment. If you have lied or deceived others, justice will prevail and most likely not in your favor. So, according to the app, it says justice is fairness, balance, ethics, law, and accountability. It's a time to balance the scales. Actions will have fair consequences. Everything will fall into place just as it's meant to be. The truth will catch up with liars and cheaters. Responsible people will be fairly compensated. It's time to think logically. Don't let your emotions overwhelm your decisions. It may be helpful to list the pros and cons of a potential decision. It could indicate legal action or a court case. Justice will likely prevail. I misread what you said. I thought you said you hate some say that you're an old soul, but you had some say you're an old soul. So yeah, mental influences is the justice card. So it's an interesting one to pull for a mental influence from a past life. I don't quite know how to read that. I'm gonna go on to the next one and give that one some more thought, because that's a whole thing there. So the next one is the spiritual influences, and you have the Emperor card. Represents leadership and a fatherly figure. It signifies the importance of keeping an inner balance and self-reliance and trusting your own judgment. It indicates that there is going to be a change in your life. It may indicate that you will be put in a position of authority over others. You or some other individual close to you can turn chaos into order, teach, and protect, although you may lean to the stern side of your natures. You hold strong to your convictions, yet there is a danger of becoming a tyrant. You prefer order and control. Reason rules over your feelings and emotions. This is a positive card, but be prepared to take control and make appropriate changes in your life to attain your goals. According to the app, it represents power, structure, stability, authority, and a father figure. Think logically and rationally about your situation. Rules, stability, and structure are central to the current situation. If you have a position of leadership, use your intellect to make the best decisions for your team. It could be urging you to increase the stability in your life. There may be a need to set limits on your behavior in order to achieve your goals. Be a father, or your father or a father figure may be relevant to the situation at hand. Think about what fatherhood and masculinity meant to you. So interesting for spiritual influences from your past life. I'm not sure if that would be saying that you were a leader or you were heavily influenced by one. That you had a father figure who had a really strong influence on your life. And then a pop-up showed up in front of my information that I was reading, and that's really disruptive. But I think the justice makes a little bit more sense with the Emperor, because the Emperor is about sternness, about being severe with something and being very intentional in a very father figure way. But the justice is much the same. They're both about logic. They're both about reason. They're both about pragmatism and practicality and fairness in life. So your emotional influences are some deep past grief that hurt you in a past life. But your mental influences are probably caused by the spiritual influences. There was some father figure, some great leader who inspired you to be better than you were and made you work hard. And that has left you with a strong sense of justice for yourself and for the world. You want things to be right. You want to make them right. Ultimately inspired by this leader. That's what I would say. For physical influences, we have the Four of Swords, which I think I've seen before tonight. I'm just going to look it up on the app quick. Rest, reflection, mental restoration, incubating ideas, and vacation. So for physical influences, I'd almost say you're pushing yourself too hard. Something in your past life is running you down. You're tired often. There's either some restless thing that's pushing you and driving you to exhaustion, possibly these two, or there's something that's been going on that some heavy weight that makes you feel like you're always just kind of need a little bit more rest, need a little bit more healing. Physically, you're at a place where you're slowing down and slower because this lifetime is a rest and relaxation, possibly from the duties and responsibilities you had previously. This is the time to rest. This life might be the vacation from your last. Something worth considering. Nice. Well, not nice that somebody hurt you, but becoming a better person in general is very good. So we've got 3 more cards to read. Karmic Debt Owed. The Six of Pentacles. Karmic Lessons to Learn. The Ten of Wands. Past life impact on present life. And past life impact on the future. So, the Six of Pentacles. A card representing financial flow, charity, assistance, giving back, and generosity. Possibly due to what you've done in the past. I think this card is saying I'm not sure if it's saying that you have a major debt that you owe, that you'll be paying for it, or if what you've done in the past is giving back to you. That now you've paid for work in the past, you've done the hard work, and now in this life, this is again the vacation. This is again the rest. Now you're going to be getting that karmic debt paid back. You've done the hard work, and this life is one to be enjoyed rather than to be the hard work and the burden. But in general, the Six of Pentacles is about giving and receiving and the balance between them. Lost someone who meant a lot to you several years ago, but you still remember them. Right on. The Six of Pentacles can also indicate that you show gratitude for what you have received by giving to charity and helping another with resources. Pay it back. Again, yeah. That one's very ambiguous. It could be that if you have been giving of yourself, you will see your effort returned. Don't be proud to accept help from those that have more. What goes around comes around. Pay attention to how you use your energy and resources. If you feel resentful or exhausted, look for ways to give in a more balanced manner. If you're not getting what you expect in a situation, look at what you are giving. In a relationship, reading this card is reminding you to pay attention to how you give and take with a person. Is your relationship fair, or is one person doing most of the taking and little of the giving? Even if we have very little in a material sense, there is always some way we can give. So, for karmic debt, it's definitely, like it says, it's focused on give and take. It's focused on either something was done in the past and now it's time to rest and receive the payment, or possibly, possibly some of the hardships that you're dealing with now are related to payment of things that were done in the past. Because this card represents the karmic lessons to learn, and this is the Ten of Wands. This is overburdened, taking on too much, trying to do too much. And I can very easily see somebody who's driven by the Emperor, who's driven by an idea of fairness, pushing themselves too hard and needing to rest, needing to give and take with life, rather than just do and do and do and do and take on too much. This is a good lesson, karmically or otherwise, a very good lesson, to not take on too much, to not do too much, to celebrate in the give and take of life, and to rest and recuperate and heal. Because the past life impact on present life, it's the world, it's everything. It's the journey through life. It's life and it's living, and it's the whole shebang. It's the journey, it's the world, it's everything. These lessons that you need to learn, these debts that are being paid, this rest that you need to take, they are significant to you now. They're a major part of where you've been and a major part of where you are currently. So, yeah, it does feel like you've been taking a lot on yourself due to this past life. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's important to balance things out. It's important to get rest, to not take too much on yourself. And then finally, the last card, the Five of Swords. Stabbing someone in the back. And that is past life impact on the future. Defeat, self-defeat, arguments, irritability, feeling attacked. When it appears, it's time to ask yourself if what you are fighting for is worth it. You may be able to win now, but at what cost? You may say words that can never be taken back in an argument with a loved one. You may be clinging tightly to an idea that is not actually that important to the big picture of your life, hurting others in the process. You may be remaining in an unhealthy situation in order to prove that you are right, for example, staying in an abusive relationship because you don't want others to say, "I told you so." The Five of Swords is telling you that winning may not be the most important thing right now. There are times when it may become necessary to hurt others through your actions and words in order to be true to yourself. Is now one of those times, or are you just trying to win for the sake of winning? This card can indicate that you have been repeating patterns that you know are dysfunctional and do not align with your ideal self. It is not weakness to admit that you want to change. The ability to recognize our faults is actually a huge strength. So the past life impact on the future. I almost look at this and see bitterness. Like a disappointment, like being so wrapped up with the idea of justice, being so tied up with this idea of authority that it's now your time to rest. It's now your time to be receiving, that you've done the hard work and you're tired and you're doing too much and you need to learn to let go. And that's having a huge effect on you. And I feel like something in the future is going to happen that you see some injustice and it's going to make you want to lash out in a way that won't necessarily be the best for you karmically, and it's going to be balanced off of the griefs you've experienced, the justice you're looking for, the sense of authority, the rest you're getting. I would give a warning with this that something's coming. Something's coming, and your knee-jerk reaction to it is not going to be what you need to do. It's going to be what you want to do. It's going to be what feels good at the time, but try to be mindful of that. Try to be careful. At least that's how I see this and read this and interpret it. It is a very complex reading, and not one that I do too often. So, but yeah, I would give caution with this one. Life's got something in store for you, and it's going to be testing you. Yeah, definitely try to be careful. Try to keep an eye on things. But yeah, that was about 25 minutes for that reading, so we are pretty close to the end of the night. So I am gonna pack these up. Put them back in the deck, though the last card at the bottom of the deck was the Seven of Cups. Yeah, I hope you folks had a good time. I usually don't do tarot cards. I don't know. Maybe with how popular this was tonight and a bunch of people showed up, maybe I'll do some more of this in the future, or just do a just chatting stream or something like that. I don't know. I'll have to decide. But normally I play older vintage style games and stuff like that. That's actually what I'm going to be doing on Wednesday, is I'm going to be playing a game called Xenogears, one of my favorite PlayStation 1 games involving deep story and mecha. So, usually what I do, but we'll see what happens with life going forward. And yeah, that was a little bit longer. But yeah, I also, after the Xenogears stream on Wednesday night, I have a collab with somebody on Sunday, helping them through their playthrough of Octopath Traveler, a JRPG that I really strongly recommend to people who like those. Class-based JRPG, really neat combat system, and 8 interesting characters with very big, fancy, cool stories. And also there's a sequel to that coming out early next year, so if you're interested, keep your eyes on my Twitter and social media, because you'll see me posting about the collab more and more as we get closer to it. And I think we're going to do it on that streamer's channel, which is Shumi, if you've met her. If you have, she's a lovely, lovely person. But I think that is where we're calling it for the night. I hope you all had a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever it was in your part of the world. I had some fun tonight. I'm glad I did this. So I am going to get going, and I'm going to put us on the Be Right Back screens. I'm going to see if we have enough people to raid. Maybe I'll do a raid tonight and send you folks off to somebody nice and cozy. Let's see here. Ta-da. I got a couple people in chat. Let's go looking for a raid. Who do we have online? That's that account. What's the other account got? So I don't need to open Discord, I need to open Twitch. Yeah, let's send you over to Nemo. So we're going to do a raid to another streamer who does a lot of just chatting streams, but he's a good guy. He's fun, definitely very interesting. By the name of Director Nemo. He's playing something now called Stories Untold. Probably a spooky Halloween game based on what I'm looking at here. But anyway, let's head on over to Nemo. Tell him I said hi. No raid message tonight. We'll just pop in and say hello with anybody that wants to head on over there. But thank you again for everybody who joined me tonight. I hope you had fun, and maybe we will do this again sometime. But until then, take care of yourselves and Have a good one. I'll see you later.